Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyasibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese sizala sokhuluma ngawo lama shows. Siyaphinda futhi sikhulume ngama-YouTubers kanye nama-celebrities ethu ala eMzansi. If it's your first time joining me today, we are on our road to 10,000 subscribers. So if you like our content, join us because we are about to have a big celebration, okay? And also press the notification bell ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sese ufakile. Listen you guys, ngifuna ukuhleba a little bit more about umndeni wakwaMaCele. This video is inspired by a conversation I had actually with my cousin concerning what happened with amakhosikazi akaMaCele going to umembeso kaMakhumalo, you guys. Of course, we do understand why uMakhumalo expected all of the wives to come to umembeso wakhe. It is because her understanding is that over and above them being omnakwabo, you know, or abantu abagana indoda eyodwa, or people that are married to the same man, over and above that they have become friends, and she always says that they have become sisters. I think each of the wives have referred to their relationship as sisterhood. You know, when they talk about each other, they will say, let's say they're going out, they will say ngiyahamba nabo sisibam. They have said that, each of them have said that. So it's reasonable for her to think these are my sisters over and above the fact that we are married to the same man. So maybe if I'm having something as big as umembe, so they're going to come. So in a way, I do understand why she had that expectation, no Makhumalo. But if you think about it, you guys, ubani ofuna ukubona indoda yakhe having this event where he is the main person, but you are not his partner in being the main person. You know, ubani ofuna ukuba in that situation. So it will make sense ukuthi if umnakwenu is getting married, or umnakwenu uyembeswa, or umnakwenu uhambisa umbondo, you don't really want to be part of that, because if we think about it, amakhosikazi akaMaCele akuwona bakaMaCele, you know, bezogana nabo kaMaCele, you know, amakhosikazi akaMaCele, none of them ba abantu bakaMaCele. So I feel like the part yokuthi they are not supposed to be expected to go to umembeso kaMakhumalo, I do understand it. I feel like it's just that the expectation was created when emshadweni kaMayeni everybody went, you know, emshadweni kaMaCele everybody went. So there was an expectation that was created that obviously if uMakhumalo now gets married, everybody is gonna go, okay? But I felt like it seemed like the disappointment, like I've said in the other video, that disappointment kaMakhumalo in the two wives not coming was deeper when it comes to uMaCele. Okay, it was deeper when it comes to uMaCele. And I always feel like the other wives do have a level of respect. Sometimes it feels like they have a level of respect for uMaCele, but also they have a level of almost ukumesaba, you know, ukuhlonipha umuntu to a point where engazi ukuthi uyasatshwa. But also they have certain expectations when it comes to uMaCele. One thing that was pointed out by my cousin in our exchange was that we must remember ukuthi kaMaCele there isn't umamezala, so there isn't a mother-in-law. Ubaba Macelego is not close to his family. We don't know why, but he's not close to his family. I think he had said in one diary session that, you know, sometimes when you are successful in the family, other family members bayahlehla kuwe. And I think in earlier seasons he had explained how when his mom was very ill, nobody helped him with her, and to a point where he would do things that umuntu wesilisa, like a man, should not do to help out his mom. Like they should have been female relatives, they should have helped him with his mom, but they never did. So when he became successful, they were not able to maintain a relationship with them. But I believe they are there. It's not like all of them died, the extended family that is. But when it comes to his mom, she did pass, and the grandmother, at least that's what we know, okay? So all of these wives came to the Macelego homestead with no in-laws. You know, there was no mother-in-law, there was no father-in-law, there was no aunt-in-law, there was nobody. You know, they came Mzumbe, from what we know, to live with one another without abantu bakamseleku, meaning that even when it comes to the rules or the customs of the family, those things they had to get from Umseleku. Whether Umseleku would do things the way that favor him or not, they don't have a choice. They have to listen to him because he's the only Umseleku family that is there to tell them, this is the expectation when you are a wife or umakoti wakamseleku. This is what you're supposed to do. I remember in one scene when Umayeni, it was a diary session when Umayeni even said, because Uba Msele had complaints about his wives, like he always does, and he said he feels like they do whatever it is that they like because akuna mamezala, there's no mother-in-law. And Umayeni was like, hey, if only he knew, so many times we feel the same. We feel like we want a mother-in-law. There are things that he cannot fix himself. We feel like if our mother-in-law was here, things would be easy. If our mother-in-law was here, she would understand, So they all don't have that. They don't have a mother-in-law. We've seen a couple of times, like SikaMaCele once, when she wanted to talk about the fact that akasafuna ukuhlala eMzumbe at all, even leandlu esemzumbe akayithandi, and she wanted to make a decision on what to do with indlu yasemzumbe. She had that conversation with usisi kaMseleku, because really you could see she's looking for somebody that can say that she can tell how she feels to, that is not Ubaba Mseleku, and Umbali and I did the same thing. It was like, if they're having problems with Musa and they want to talk to somebody, Mseleku, they would talk to Seleku's sister, okay? But now I believe that she's married. Maybe she doesn't have as much time to spend with them because obviously she has her own family. But there is that space or something that is missing in their lives, that is the in-laws, as much as our in-laws can be a headache, okay? Because if you think about it, with all four wives, if a mother-in-law was around with all four wives, that would be another dynamic that would be added to Nesthembu SikaMaCele. But I do feel like they are missing a mother-in-law. And I feel like, honestly, when I thought about it, I was like, this makes sense. I think it makes sense in a sense that because sometimes I would feel like they put a lot of responsibilities on SikaMaCele, in a sense that they get so disappointed when she doesn't want to support certain things with them, or she doesn't want to have certain conversations with them, or she won't allow maybe Ntando to do certain things for the other wives or whatever. It seems to them that they can cope with Umayeni being disappointed by Umangwabe, being disappointed by Umakhumalo, but it's big when it's SikaMaCele that disappoints them. And I feel like partly it is that thing that because SikaMaCele is that first wife, that it's almost like they treat her as the mother. They expect her to take a mother-in-law role, even though nobody is saying it, but it feels like that, like they expect her to do certain things as if she is their mother-in-law. If engaged to your function, you feel worse than if the other wife doesn't come, which is the reason maybe even Umakhumalo is feeling so bad about the fact that SikaMaCele did not come to a function worse than she does with Umayeni, because it's almost like the mother-in-law is not coming. So it's almost like they forget she is just the wife, just like any other wife. Just like Umakhumalo understood, you know what, I'm not surprised by Umayeni not wanting to come to my function. She doesn't like me anyway. She should have been able to say, even with SikaMaCele, even though I've been to her functions, but I'm not surprised, because after all, umnakwethu lona sibanga naye indoda, or sishade naye indoda eyodwa. But she was deeply affected, probably because there is that thing yokuthi SikaMaCele to them takes a role of mother-in-law. At the end of the day, you guys, all of them are missing something, and all of them are missing a a mother-in-law. But I do feel like uMaCele, in a way, she constantly have to remind them that, listen, sishada indoda eyodwa lana, so nami nginomshado khona la. So if I don't want to attend your function, understand ukuthi ngiwumnakwenu. Also, Mseleku should have understood that with all of his wives, none of them are obligated to attend each other's functions, especially when it comes to them doing imembes or doing imishado, because that is not an easy thing to do as a wife, to attend umshado or your men's wedding. You know, it's not easy as a woman to attend your men's umembeso and see him sitting there in front, in the main table, and you sitting down when that is not easy. So he should have known to say, you know what, guys, I would love for you, all of you, to attend, but you don't have to, because honestly, you guys, they don't have to. You do not have to attend any of the functions zikamnakweni when it comes to ukugana kukamnakweni. Kodwa uMseleku, there is a viewer even that said this, ukuthi uMseleku treats his wife like they are his family, so he wants them to take the responsibility that his family should have taken. Even if your mother is no longer living, there must be an aunt that should have been there makumbatiswa azombatisa, or your cousin, you know, your cousin sister, like we would say, should have been there azombatisa umakoti. But he does not have, he has uqhelelene with his family, and as a result, he expects his wife to act like they are his family when they are not. Okay, and I feel like with uMaCele, in addition to that, I do feel like the other wives forget to go to naye, she is the wife. You know, naye, she is in the same level as them, and the things that they struggle with, maybe she struggles with them even more when it comes to Isikhwele no Baba Mseleku, and they shouldn't expect her to do those things if she's not feeling comfortable to do those things. But I feel like they expect it because it's almost like they treat her as a mother-in-law. If she's not coming to your function, it's almost like she doesn't approve. Imagine if you had remember and or a wedding and your mother-in-law doesn't come, it's almost like she's saying she does not approve of you. Because remember, that is exactly what uMakhumalo ended up saying, that because they did not come, it means that they don't take her as the wife kaMseleku, they don't take her as one of them, which is not really what it means. They just didn't want to attend the event. Should they have gone, maybe I would have gone, because you know, she's already attended my event, but they didn't feel like they wanted to do that, you know. So it's like she's uMakhumalo takes the rejection deeper than it actually is, because part of her does treat uMaCele like it's a mother-in-law. And the way that uMakhumalo seeks the attention and seeks the approval kaMaCele is the way that people would do when they are seeking the approval of the mother-in-law. You know, they go above and beyond. You know, you buy gifts for your mother-in-law. You make sure you remember the birthday because you want to be on the good side, mother-in-law. I feel like they are making uMaCele take a role that is not hers. At the end of the day, it is, she is umnakwabo naye ubanga indoda nabo. Of course, I'm not saying that everything that uMaCele has done has been right. She shocked me too when she decided not to go, because I thought maybe she's gonna change her mind and go. But I do feel like there's a dynamic there that we are not paying attention to when it comes to the other wives, maybe thinking that uMaCele should be taking the role almost of being a mother-in-law, since mother-in-law is not there, which I think is not right, because the relatives, if the mother has died, maybe she had sisters, you know, Aunt Otile that can come, maybe the father had sisters that can come, kaMseleku bazosiza and take that mother role kaBaba Mseleku. I do wonder, you guys, still about the family. What really made the family kaBaba Mseleku take a step back from Ubaba Mseleku? Did he take a step back from the family, or did the family take a step back? I'm really wondering what the story is there. I am hoping at some point we will get clarity in that story, because even with uMaSaula, we were always wondering about who Masaula was, when did she come to the family, how did she pass, her family and all of that. And finally this season we got to get more information, and I feel like as they get desperate for storylines, they reveal more and more. But I really would love to know more about Mstelegu's family. Where is Musa's extended family? Was it just him and his mom and his grandmother? They never had sisters, never had brothers, never had cousins, nothing. Like, where is the family? Anyway, you guys, I hope that I was able to explain the point that I was trying to make on this video. Please tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Do you see what I see when it comes to the other wives almost wanting uMaCele to act like a mother-in-law to them? Do you think that that is fair? What is your view in this whole thing? Also, guys, what do you think happened with the family kaBaba? Like, for real, where are they? Like, they had a big umembe, so they should have been there, but we didn't see any of them. What happened? Does anybody know what happened? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntando kakhulu.